Hey guys, and welcome to Laid Bare. You're joined with me, your host Oloni, and we've got a solo show today. We have a solo show, but that's good because I want to tell you guys what I've been watching, what I've been seeing, and the things that I really want to rant about when it comes to pop culture. Now, I don't know if you guys are living under a rock, but if you are, let me tell you first, okay? I am shocked right now. 50 Cent has not really responded to T.I. outside of memes on Instagram. For those who do not know, T.I. and 50 Cent have been going back and forth. It basically started with T.I. supposedly saying that he wanted to do a versus with 50 Cent, and they discussed this over the phone. 50 Cent said that he was down for it, and T.I. was just like, cool, I'll make the announcement. You don't really have to do anything, or you could basically, come out after and share your thoughts and whatnot. Apparently 50 Cent responded in a way which was like, why would I want to do that kind of vibe? And T.I. was more or less, I think he was basically blindsided by the whole response from 50 Cent because he was just like, bro, we spoke about this. Anyway, they go back and forth, and 50 Cent does what 50 Cent does, which is troll, and posts a photo of Tiny. Now, King, one of Tiny and T.I.'s kids, responds by not only doing a diss, but also talking about his mother. I'm kind of annoyed, to be honest, if we just go back to the whole him posting Tiny when it should just... I know rap beef means rap beef and anyone can get it, but I feel like right now, there's just been an influx. Okay, maybe not influx, but there's just been so many men who don't keep their beef between themselves and they start bringing women into it. For example, I was scrolling on my timeline and I saw an image of a fan. I think it was an Arsenal and Tottenham game. I'm not really into the football world like that, so feel free to correct me. But it was, I think, a Spurs fan who was holding up a photo of Declan Rice's girlfriend. And it just made me think, what is wrong with you? When did we get to a place where footballers can't just be footballers? If they're not being held abuse, they're being reminded of what their girlfriends look like. I think if you don't fit a mold of what society expects you to look like as a woman, there is a big punishment that men face. And it's always important to realize, especially as a woman, that beauty is not a one size fits all. We don't all have to have the same hair, same lips, the same aesthetic. It doesn't make sense. And I think it was very disgusting that this Spurs fan felt that he could hold up a photo to try and essentially mock Declan Rice. This isn't the first time that his girlfriend has been made fun of because she's a fuller size woman. Instead of supporting a team, you're holding up another man's girlfriend to mock how she looks. And I just want to know, when footballer fans became so concerned with the way a footballer's girlfriend looked, when did that ever become a part of the sport? I genuinely want to know when it became a part of the sport. And the same thing goes with rap beef. So sad, especially with 50 Cent and T.I., because now you've got King, who's basically disrespecting 50's mum, who has passed away. He's wearing her face on a t-shirt. It's awful. It's honestly awful. And, if they don't want to do the verses, they don't want to do the verses. That's fine. But when we start bringing women into the equation, it's not enjoyable. It really isn't. And even if we go back to Declan Rice for a second, I just feel like it's important to always understand that, yes, you cannot like, your opponent and their players, but taking the piss out of someone's girlfriend, someone's wife, someone's mother should never, ever be part of the sport. I'm sorry. It really, really isn't. And the last thing I will say on this is that if your masculinity depends on ridiculing a woman for the way she looks, that's not a passion for sport. That's fragility. Okay, so I don't know what you guys are up to when it comes to Bridgerton, but it's been a week now. You guys should be up to date when it comes to Bridgerton. I really do wish they put it out during Valentine's Day. That would have been perfect. They decided to put out Bridgerton at the same time as putting out the other half, or at least the second third of Love is Blind. I don't know whose genius idea that was, but let me tell you, Netflix, please do not do that again, okay? Now we are just rushing to watch both. Okay, I had time. Let's get into it. Benedict and Sophie, you guys have genuinely won my heart. Now, I feel like this second half was honestly giving Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. We always knew it was giving Cinderella, but I started to see Beauty and the Beast. I even saw hints of Romeo and Juliet, because if you think about it, it's two different classes. But enough about that. Do you know what I really want to get into? Do you know what I really want to get into? The sex scenes. The sex scenes were divine. The sex scenes had me steamy, okay? So I really want to get into it. Can we do that, okay? So they're kissing. They're kissing. Ooh. Ooh. He is taking off his clothes. She's helping him take off his clothes.
I wanted you so.
See what we have there? Some good, healthy consent. Love that, love that. Ooh, girl's getting some head. We love that. He's all up in there. Ooh. Had to speed it up. He's throwing her into the bed with his bum cheeks out. I love it. Ooh, we love a good old missionary.
First, please. I heard it can hurt.
Do you hear that? Baby girl said, I heard it can hurt. And if there's no lube, it definitely can. Oh, he's definitely slipped it in now. This angle is just beautiful. What? He is taking over on the sides. We love it. I know they're acting, but this guy can fuck. Don't ask me how I know. But he can fuck. It might be because his character is also bisexual. But this man can fuck. I can just tell he can fuck. I know it's acting. I don't care. Honestly, the sex scenes in Bridgerton are top tier. They're so artistically done. It's just beautiful. They never do too much or make it sloppy or sleazy. It always just looks like a bit of art. And don't get me wrong, sloppy and sleazy can be good from time to time. But I think with the way Bridgerton is set, they do it perfectly. It doesn't make it feel like you're watching two people have sex. It makes it look like you're watching people make love, like quite literally make love. We're going to do another scene, which was in the bathtub. Ooh, the bathtub. I've never ever thought that sex in a bathtub could be hot until I watched Bridgerton. Because look how full of passion it is. I don't think my bathtub is big enough. For all of this. But my goodness, do I want to give it a try one day. I tried to be in a bathtub with me and a guy once, but I think he was just a bit too big for it, to be honest. Not that way.
Turn around.
He told her to turn around. Mwah. These shots are just so beautiful. amazingly. Like, honestly, shout out to Bridgerton and whoever was in the room and helped direct that scene. Beautiful. Can I say something else about Bridgerton? I really did enjoy their passionate scene. You know, like in every Bridgerton, there's always a monologue that the lead men will have, especially when it comes to the Bridgerton men. Like we saw it with Anthony. Benedict did his. What's their brother's name called again? What's the other one called? I've forgotten what his name is called. Colin, him too. We saw it, of course, with Reggie in the first season of Bridgerton. I feel like there's always this need to try and outdo the other. Not to say that they're doing it purposely, but you know, like when the Bridgerton fans are sharing, you know, their favorite monologues from the guys who are declaring their love to the woman that they want to be with, it's just always like, who's gonna do it the best? I know we always compare it to the past seasons. My favorite season of Bridgerton, even though it's not technically Bridgerton, will always be Queen Charlotte. So I know I've been talking a lot about what's happening in pop culture, whether that's between 50 Cent and T.I. or the latest season of Bridgerton. But you know what I also want to get into? I know it's kind of died out a little bit, but I do still want to talk about it because how can I not? Genuinely, when we say that being black is draining, I think that people assume that we are just being crybabies or that we have a chip on our shoulder. When you think about everything black people have been through historically, it's no wonder we have this apparent chip. Would you not think that a lot of the issues that you're facing is due to your own history or part of your history? Because of course we know that our history doesn't begin at slavery. But anyway, for those who are wondering what I'm talking about, it has to do with the BAFTAs and what happened. I think it's been a week now. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, of course, were at the BAFTAs. Whilst they were up on stage, there was a man by the name of John Davidson who was heard shouting the N-words due to his Tourette's. Certain things that he says can't be helped, but I feel like my heart definitely goes out to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo because even though the BAFTAs was happening 2 hours before it was being shown on the BBC, they never blanked out the word being said. Free Palestine was blanked out. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing because I find it funny. I'm laughing because, again, people will say that we're walking around with a chip on our shoulder, but we don't have a chip on our shoulder. You guys are playing in our face. Like, you're playing in our face and you've been doing it for so long, and it's very draining when you're constantly being gaslit and told that the world doesn't hate you when they show time and time again that they do. You need to think about it. The BAFTAs is one of the most prestigious events and awards that we have in the UK. To think that two black people who traveled to come here, wore their finest suit and their finest shoe, probably had friends and family in the audience, saw them being humiliated not once but twice to the world when it could have been stopped is disgusting. And I feel like the BBC have, you know, a duty of care to make sure that they look after their guests. And again, my issue or my qualms is not with the man with Tourette's. Although I say that, at the same time, I do feel like an apology could have been given. There's so many people who have told me, you know, like, well, it's going to happen again. He can't help it. And I completely understand that. But I feel like in this sense, whereby the situation is not like any other situation, this is a very specific kind of situation. You need to remember the BBC also have their hand to play in this. There's also just the gravity of the time that we're in. This is the end of February, and this is, you know, Black History Month, especially for African Americans. And I feel like with the way everything has been handled, would it have cost him anything to apologize for the situation? I don't know what else to say about that, to be honest. I mean, let me know your thoughts. Tweet me using the hashtag laidbarepodcast. Make sure you subscribe. I want to know what your thoughts are, to be honest, because I do feel like everything is layered. I understand that, you know, the man with Tourette's cannot help what he is saying. It is not his fault. You know, people, I mean, we remember as early as the 2000s when Big Brother was on, we had Pete who was on there And we grew up understanding what Tourette's was, because I remember on social media, I did see what essentially looked like a battle between Americans and people from the UK. And Americans look like they didn't give an F if it was Tourette's. Not all of them, of course, but basically started to look like a diaspora war, which is not what we want. But I think their main issue over there was that we were too relaxed with the way things were being handled. And it's just like, listen, this we've been trying to tell you for a very long time that the UK is racist. We know the UK is racist. We've been trying to tell you that the UK is racist, but it's layered again because this is a man with Tourette's. And again, we have been educated about Tourette's. We've seen it within pop culture with Pete, who won Big Brother, but at the same time, the duty of care from the BBC was awful. This wasn't even a duty of care scenario because they did not care. There was no duty to be had. They could have bleeped it out and they chose not to. For what reason? We all know why. Because they just don't care about black people. The racism in the UK is very different. It's not in your face. I mean, some of it is in your face, but a lot of the racism in the UK is just very microaggressive. And I think this situation just helped confirm something we've known for a very long time. So it's just, it's annoying and disgusting to see, but we're not surprised. We aren't. Anyway, on to other news. I saw this video from April where she is discussing her dating life, and it made me laugh because I felt like I could relate to it. And I'm going to play the video for you guys to listen to.
Being honest, I feel like me dating now, men date me because they just want to know what it's like to experience me. And I'm not interested in that. I was dating someone and I was being very honest about, like, I'm not having sex with you. I'm not doing none of this stuff. And we didn't. It's like these expectations that people have because we're living in a fast forward culture sexually where people feel like that's what it's supposed to be, really, really fast. I don't believe in that. If I don't want to do something, I shouldn't have to do it. And I feel like I'm encountering where everybody is rushing into these relationships. If I want to have sex, I'm going to have sex. And we can talk about it and let's agree upon it. But I really want to get to know someone without sex being really involved so early on. And I feel like I'm not discovering that. It's like y'all need to learn how to hold out. I'm looking for a real partner. I'm looking for a real friend. But I'll tell you this, if I never find it, I'm going to be okay with that too. I am not willing to compromise. Boom. I am not willing to settle, and I am not that lonely.
I found that video very relatable. And why did I find it relatable? Because I feel like that's just the dating scene in general. I feel like the dating scene right now is just a race. It's a race to see how quickly you can get someone into bed. Now, are they intentional with it? Maybe. And when I talk about being intentional, I mean, like, do they really want something from it? Potentially. But in most cases, I find that a lot of the women that I've spoken to and my friends and those around me, they've shared the same thing, which is you go on a couple of dates and you find that this person is doing whatever they can to, like, get you into bed. And don't get it twisted. Sex is amazing. Sex is beautiful. I've said this before. God ate when it came to sex. But when you find that a guy is trying to do whatever it takes to get you into bed and he's not really taking the time to get to know you, it makes you feel like the sex is the prize. It makes you feel like the sex is the reward when it should be the whole experience of getting to know you, the whole experience of experiencing you in general, the whole experience of finding things out about you, the quirks, what makes you laugh, what makes you sad, just what dating should look like. And I find that in most cases, especially in my experience, I don't know if that's also because of what I do. So sometimes I am a bit standoffish and I purposely hold out because of it. But she's not wrong. And for those who don't know, that's April. She is the mother of Omarian's child. Her situation is actually interesting as well because I'm not sure if it's completely true. Not that it matters or anything, but I think I once heard that she did a thing with Lil Fizz. Again, that does not matter, but it just popped into my mind and I just had to share it because I was just like, wait, was that completely true? Was that a storyline? I don't know if that's completely true. But yeah, anyway, let's go back to my thought process and think. But yeah, listen, yes, dating and sex being on the table will never not be a thing. It goes hand in hand. When you're talking about dating, when you're talking about relationships, inevitably sex does become a part of the topic. But I feel like when I'm dating today, even though sex is never really mentioned, you can really just tell that sex is supposed to be a big part of the equation. I don't know if that's just me internalizing, or if that's just me reflecting on past sexual moments that I've had. I remember even a guy I was talking to, and he told me that I had nice lips, and I nearly wanted to throw up. I probably didn't like him though, because I promise you, you put Aaron Pierre in front of me and he told me I have nice lips, I'm definitely not gonna feel sick. And you know what they say? There's a difference between someone you fancy and someone who feels like is sexually harassing you. So there's also that. Maybe that could be a big part of it. But no, in all seriousness, it just feels like no one really wants to get to know each other anymore. People just want to rush to the finish line. And for many, the finish line is sex. The goal is sex. And it's interesting. Now, this doesn't mean I've always experienced this as well. I've also experienced guys where I can tell that they just want to get to know me and take their time. But in other cases, I'm just like, if it is sex that you want, would it kill guys to just be more upfront about it? I mean, ladies, tell me how you feel. If you were talking to a guy and he said, listen, I really like you, you're cool, I'm not really looking for a relationship, I'm just trying to have something casual, how would you react to it? Would you be okay with it, or would it be something that you run away from? Because I find that some women would respect it and other women would be so disgusted that they're looked at in that way. I think they would think that, oh my God, you see me as a sex object. That is not someone I want to be with because I do not like the lens you have looked at me with. But yeah, I want to know, what are your thoughts? Anyway, this is my first time doing an episode on my own. It was definitely techie because I should have charged my laptop. Very nervous as well. It's been a long day. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. Tell me what your thoughts are. And yeah, I'll do this again very soon, I'm sure. But make sure you follow me on all socials at Oloni. Use the hashtag laidbare and make sure you subscribe too. Also going to be adding videos on Patreon, so make sure you join my Patreon for laidbare. But this has been fun. I didn't tell you when I got laid last because I haven't been laid. So there's nothing to tell you. But it is the weekend, so who knows? Anyway, this has been amazing and lots of fun. I will see you guys next week. Bye.